So, what did you think of the rest of The Cherry Orchard? Something, isn't it? Wouldn't you like to see this play? Oh, you're in luck. You get to watch it on Friday. I have a recording for it all set up on Canvas through the library for you to watch. Bonus, it's in Russian. So you'll basically be learning Russian. I watch as much of it as you can. Watch it in chunks so that you don't get overwhelmed by the Russian. But I really want you to get a sense of what this play is like when it's being performed in Russian by good actors. But let's just talk for a minute, now that you've read the rest of the play, about a couple of things I want to point out that I'm going to zoom through those 7 characteristics again and send you off on a little quiz. So first of all, I want to point out to you how Act 3 starts with so much continuous action, right? What's going on in Act 3? The curtain rises, we're at a party. We're at this stupid party that Lyubov Andreevna had to throw. She has no money, but she's throwing a party anyway. They're having the party. And over the course of several minutes of stage action, what kind of stuff do we see? Well, there's people drinking, there's people making jokes, there's people playing games, and sort of right off the edge of the stage, we know that the party is spilling out into other rooms. Somebody stands up and reads a poem. Carlotta's doing her magic tricks. People are teasing each other. There's people getting their feelings hurt. All of this action happening. This is not what normally happens in a play in the late 19th century, early couple years of the 20th century. It's 1904. We don't usually have plays where the action isn't focused and directing us to cause and effect and well-made play sort of actions and exposition and things like that. This is a weird play for 1904. It's really taking a page out of naturalism, sort of this extreme realism where there's not a lot of dramatic structure. That's what Act 3 feels like pretty much until Lopakhin comes in with his big news. So pay attention to how unusual that is. We have not historically, as we've been reading plays in this class, read anything like Act 3 of The Cherry Orchard. I also just want to point out to you how so overdramatic, ridiculous Madame Renevskaya is being at all moments. I think she peaks for me, I'm turning pages in my book, when during the party, they're all talking, and she says, "What truth? Oh, yes, of course you see what is true and what is not true. Well, I have lost my vision. I see nothing. You boldly solve all the problems of the world, don't you?" She's talking to Trofimov. "But tell me, my darling, isn't that because you're still so young? Because you haven't even suffered through one of life's problems yet? Not even one. You boldly look to the future. But isn't that because you see nothing so terrible lying ahead? Because life is still safely hidden from your young eyes? You have more courage, more character, more honesty than any of us. So then why not have compassion? Find it somewhere in a corner of your heart. Have mercy on me. I was born here. My mother and father lived here. My grandfather too. I love this house. I can't comprehend a life without the cherry orchard, and if it must be sold, then sell me with it. My son drowned here. Have pity on me." Okay, she's ridiculous. This is not writing that is ridiculous and over the top and overblown. This is a person who is ridiculous. That's what I need you to understand about Chekhov. He writes characters who are over the top, too much, are convinced of sort of the drama of their own lives. And we, as an audience, are meant to look at them and say, "You got to be kidding me," and laugh at them. We are not meant to take their understanding of their lives at face value, right? Then I just have to point out one other thing, which is in Act 4, when Lyubov is talking about how she's going to live in the future, she talks about some money she's going to have to live on. It's money that she and Gayev got from their aunt. This has been tracking since the beginning of the play. Gayev, since the beginning of the play, has said, "We can get out of this whole problem with the estate and the cherry orchard. I'm going to ask our aunt for money." And then he mentions it again in Act 2, and then he mentions it again in Act 3. Well, in Act 4, we find out, just in a drop line, not a lot of attention paid to it, that he did ask for the money. He did get the money. He did not use this money to win back the cherry orchard, as you know. But she's going to take that money and go off and live on it. This is her deep flaw, her selfishness, This is what is wrong with Lyubov Andreevna, and what's wrong with this whole family that they're going to let her go off and do that. So don't let that little detail get past you. It's pretty spectacularly terrible. All right, now, when you look at our 7 characteristics, there they are. You saw them before. Life in rural Russia, boredom and monotony of the landowning class, gulf between desire and fulfillment. Think about that one. Where do you see it in the play? Muted action on stage, climactic action off stage. Where do you see that in the play? Attention not on events of the plot, but on the character psychological responses. And finally, characters do not fully understand their own feelings. That one's interesting too. Okay, thinking about all this, scurry off now and take your quiz. I can't wait to see what you write. Bye.